Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We had just a long but focused meeting of the foreign ministers. First, of course, we discussed Ukraine. Ministers, like always, heard directly from Ukrainian Minister of the State of Play. And although there was an Orthodox Easter, ceasefire declared, Russia did not keep to it. It actually increased its attacks against Ukrainian civilians, and it shows that Putin has not given up on his maximalist war aims. We must continue to give Ukraine what it needs to hold its own until Putin understands that this war leads nowhere. Following Hungarian elections, there is a new momentum, and I expect a positive decision on the 90 billion loan in the next 24 hours. Ministers also urged to rapidly move forward with the 20 sanctions package. We should also revisit long-blocked decisions, including opening negotiation clusters with Ukraine. Also, the European Peace Facility Weapons Fund. Also, we should revisit, sanctions that have been on the table and not agreed before, but also we should move on with the new sanctions package. EU remains Ukraine's biggest supporter, in addition to the military and financial support. Also, our EU mission has now trained over 90,000 Ukrainian soldiers. And there was also broad support today to move ahead with the fourth pillar of European security guarantees, focused on the defense sector reform, hybrid cyber threats, as well as the veterans. However, wars are not only fought with drones and missiles. We must also continue to fend off Moscow's destabilization attempts. So today, ministers approved additional sanctions against those behind disinformation campaigns inside the European Union. We also extended measures against those destabilizing Moldova. While Russia bombs museums, destroys churches and seeks to erase Ukrainian culture, it should not be allowed to exhibit its own. Russia's return to the Venice Biennale is morally wrong, and also EU intends to cut its funding. Finally, we will come with proposals to restrict former Russian combatants' entry to the European Union by the time of June European Council. Turning to the Middle East, the region stands at the moment of both risk and opportunity. Ceasefire in Iran and Lebanon largely hold, but they come with a rapidly nearing expiration date. If the fighting resumes tonight, it will come at the very large cost for all, and that is why it is important that the next round of talks happens. Lebanon is paying a heavy price for a war it did not choose. We heard today from Prime Minister Salam about Lebanon's peace talks with Israel and its efforts to lift the country out of Hezbollah's grip. There are too many civilians that have lost their lives in this war. Europe has committed €100 million in humanitarian assistance. We also continue to support the Lebanese armed forces and work on a possible EU civilian mission. The more we strengthen the Lebanese army, the weaker we make Hezbollah. On Iran, ministers were clear that the freedom of navigation is non-negotiable. Daily U-turns, whether the Strait of Hormuz is open or closed, are reckless. Transit through the strait must remain free of charge. Europe will play its part in restoring the free flow of energy and trade once the conditions allow. Our Aspides naval mission is the quickest way to protect shipping in the region, and I've asked ministers to make more assets available. The EU already has sweeping sanctions in place on Iran, but today we also reached a political agreement to widen our sanctions regime to also target those responsible for breaches to freedom of navigation. Iranian drones used against our Gulf partners likely incorporate Russian tech upgrades. We are engaging closely with the Gulf partners to limit this, including through possible cooperation on sanctions. We also want to deepen our cooperation with the Gulf regarding security and defense. So none of us want to see a nuclear-armed Iran. And we are in agreement with our regional partners that any durable settlement must address also other issues in addition to the nuclear, including Iran's missile program and its continued support to terrorist groups. And those are also central priorities. At the same time, we cannot lose sight of Gaza and the West Bank. The EU is the biggest supporter of the Palestinian people. Yesterday, I co-chaired 2 meetings with over 60 delegations to put political perspective for future of the two-state solution back on the table. The implementation of the peace plan, in line with the UN Security Council Resolution 2803, remains the best way forward. The EU will continue to push for improved humanitarian access, condemn illegal Israeli land grabs in the West Bank, and call for Hamas disarmament. Now,